we are requesting that $2 million, $1 million would come from the Capital Stabilization Fund, and that vote for that particular million, and it's all the same vote, would require two-thirds majority because it is in a stabilization fund. The other $1 million would come from free cash that's currently on hand, and the accountant is here and can testify before you to the amounts that the $1 million is available in that fund, and we do have $1 million available in the current free cash allocation. This would start the process of the feasibility study for the new high school, in whatever form it may come out.
Number one, thank you so much for even considering this measure. I think this is one of the most exciting things, certainly, that I'm going to be working on for the next several years, but I think it's incredible for the community, too. I just want to say this about this amount, because I think it's important. So we don't know what the actual amount will be. The feasibility study, if we're invited to go to that next step, which I'll come back to, the major steps that we'll take if we're invited is to hire an owner's project manager, which is required by MSBA and makes sense for a lot of different reasons. And then we'll enter into a designer selection phase where we'll work with, very closely with MSBA. They have a big hand in this to select a designer for the project. So that's an RFP process. It's not a bid, it's a request for proposal process, but we won't really know the price of that until we kind of finalize that process. This number comes from past projects that the MSBA shared with us.
So, Council President, I would add that these funds would shift from responsibility of the town council in its current location to that of the school building committee. They would be the agency that would execute these funds. It's still subject to procurement law and all the appropriate procurement requirements, and then back to me as the chief procurement officer of the town.
I thought we appropriated $1 million for this before. I'm definitely in favor of doing the feasibility study. I just look forward to in Finance Committee hearing why this can't be done for less millions of dollars.
So the town council did vote to move $1 million, maybe 1.2?
$1.6 million.
1.6, yeah, but it wasn't all for the school. Some of it was
No.
potentially for other purposes.
But that was the free cash discussion, Council President, the free cash discussion where we said we had developed a bucket in there of about $1.2 million to make up the second half.
The town council did put that money into the capital stabilization fund, around $1.2 million, for the express purpose of using it for a feasibility study, knowing that we wouldn't have the opportunity to vote on it for about a year or so, which is now where we're at. So that's part of this process.
The foresight of this council 18 months ago to put that $1.6 million into capital stabilization, knowing that this was coming, has put us in a position where we don't have to go before the voters, that we're paying for it, with cash that is available today.
Thanks. Is there any other questions? Discussion. All right, well, we are just taking a motion to refer to Finance Committee.
I make a motion to refer measure 2023-030 to the Finance Subcommittee.
Second.
I have a motion for Simmons, a second from Ms. Prescott. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. It is referred to the Finance Committee.